Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. The train line is built. It is 1975, and we are ready to bring the chemical plant online. Glorious day. I've also started doing an oil field expansion. I don't need to connect shit up to roads anymore because the helicopter construction office is just doing it for me now, which is great. And I may have screwed up my railway line a little bit here. I managed to discover that it was just barely possible. It took a lot of fine-tuning, but I did manage to get a single rail connection in. And as a result, I've actually got the ability to hook this chemical plant up to the rail network directly, which I'm hoping to use at some point. I don't know if I'm going to be building this yet, but it's a thought. Alright. But yeah, let's get to work. Unfortunately, the train I would like to use is still out of commission. This thing still looks like it's going to need another 2 months before it can have another attempt at being repaired. And given that it is at a wear and tear of 84%, I don't want to send it out into the field just yet. This thing seems to be generally holding it together. You know, it's got 0 vehicles to repair currently. We'll see what happens later, but it seems like it's keeping up with the repairs. It helps that I've also begun spending large sums of money on fleet modernization. So I'm not keeping 40-odd-year-old cars working around anymore. Instead, I have set it to just pretty much automatically replace every vehicle that is 20 years old. 20 years is currently the cutoff. If this proves to be too much of a problem, I can increase the vehicle age or whatever, but I'm not going to keep the vehicles working as long as possible anymore. Which legitimately was resulting in some of them actually making it to 40 years old, which is great from a strictly financial perspective, but holy shit. They're just breaking down constantly pretty much, so yeah, we're caught up on that, which is helpful. And yeah. Okay, well, at least you can probably make it to the border. God, I hope you can. Alright. So, passenger wagon. So yeah, these days we've got a lot of more modern ones. Ooh. So how big is that? 27 meters. And it can do 155 passengers. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to think here. The chemical plant will take 700 people, potentially. So I could but realistically, how many trains currently go through this region, right? I need to kind of consider calculations. 3, so I'm going to be putting a 4th one in. That suggests to me that a train will arrive every 4 hours. Or 2 per 8-hour work shift. You know, especially since we have the refueling station here that kind of regulates their travel. So that means I actually only need to bring in approximately half. You know? Which ain't too bad. So we'll want to round up a little bit, you know. I'm thinking 450 is fine, and I can just... Hello, what's this? That looks like something of potentially good things. Oh shit, new asphalt paver. It's purchased dollars. Ugh. Anyway. So yeah. Passenger wagon. So yeah, the RT200, I think I just grab 3 of these and call it a train. That works for me. I kind of wonder if I go to my vehicles here, list of trains, availability by year, specifically passenger wagons. Now there's the RT200 is actually the last one. Okay. That's actually a pretty decent one. Unfortunately, cargo wagons are a little more tough to read because they're not really separated. Like that. Boxcar 11280. Eventually we'll get. Nice. Isothermic refrigeration wagon. Cool. Anyway. So, let's delete your erase from line. You're just going on a quick little run to the customs house. Like I say, I hope you can make it. Now, the age of this thing's 30 years. When it comes to the trains, I'm going to try and keep them running longer. Because generally, that's actually fine. Yeah. Trains can definitely have a much longer service life. I mean, I'm thinking about the trains and wondering... like... the fact that they're randomly disappearing is not great. But we only have a couple that are, like, at 30 at this point. You know? This is actually the oldest vehicle I have. 30 years. Yeah, I guess, no, there definitely has to be older ones. Anyway. They're just probably on lines and for some reason not getting counted or something. Or maybe I've just decommissioned them. It's always possible. I think I have automatic vehicle replacement on, so... even for trains... oh no, I don't have automatic vehicle replacement on. Good to know. 80% in 50 years, apparently where that recommends it. I mean, honestly, I'd probably just do it in 50 years anyway, regardless of reaching 80% wear and tear. But we'll see. So yeah, I don't want to launch this until it's had another chance to repair. So in a little over a month, we'll be able to launch that. Now, with that in mind, we've kind of had a crisis over here. You may notice that we now actually have 2 police stations. And I've also stopped people from moving into the city to try and let the population drain out of it a bit, to restore some order. It turns out this one police station with drinking water, you can see here, yeah, 85% of criminal cases got unexamined last year. Which, yep. The prison's nearly overflowing. The court system is just completely fucked, which is not great. And I'm thinking I'm going to need another courthouse. Which, whatever, we can deal with. Don't know why that one got demolished. Probably burned down in a fire or something. Alright. We're slowly but steadily getting the highway around here and all this built up, which is good. I'm going to be making the shift to regional distribution before too long. And, like, I'm looking at the network that I'm building, and I think this region here is where I'm going to want to put my distribution hub. The distribution hub needs to be able to access everywhere from Terrace Pole to potentially as much far down as Krakow. Probably not this far, though. We'll see. I'm not sure how much development's really going to go on down here, given I'm pretty sure I plan to expand the industry here and potentially just keep causing a giant pollution plume that will kill everyone. It's always tough, you know? It's tough. Because I am going to need to set up regional distribution if I want to keep expanding. I generally favor a centralized distribution system, so basically what's going to happen is this is going to become the regional granary for this area. And in theory, at some point, I am going to have, you know, another granary over here that will service these cities. I don't know if I'll do a granary specifically, but I do know that I need to do meat and chemicals in particular. Because they're sort of the low volume ones. And yeah, so if I go to storages, is it general cargo? I actually don't know. It'll be in food here. Yeah, there's these meat storages. Basically, as I upgrade the distribution system to sort of a next tier, I'm going to start putting, for example, a tiny meat storage and a tiny, well, maybe not warehouse. I might use trains for the chemicals. Probably not. Probably not. But yeah, Lubin, Kelm, Zamosk, Terraspol are all going to get a small nearby meat storage and chemical. Now, the advantage of doing this is I can basically kind of have a distribution office set up to ensure that those warehouses keep stable, keep like a stock, and it'll all come from a singular source that way. And that helps a lot. And because I can use different trucks, you know? Because currently, I use these, which are not the fastest, which means that if there is high consumption, and also I have to have two of them here because they have to travel so far. That means in the case of high consumption of meat or whatever, there's a problem. Similarly, I might still need to do local distribution for food. I kind of have that set up through this little place. It kind of works. But we'll see with Lubin. I think what would probably work is if I could actually pave the road into Lubin. Like, that would allow for a lot faster transit. Also, I guess I can start with canceling some of these footpaths. Let's clean it up so that way it is easier to pave. And this much can be paved already. Perfect. Sign this, but no workers, please. Okay. So they'll pave that. Speaking of paving roads, I had some time here, and I decided to experiment with using the helicopters and roadworks. And I discovered that they work exactly as I had dreamed. In the helicopter construction office, I've put down some road vehicles, which can now get airlifted to sections of road that I may not necessarily have ground access to, along with asphalt and gravel and everything else they need. So, despite there not actually being road access to this road, it is getting built because this thing's come in from the construction office. Allowing me to actually, with reasonable speed, pave out the road here to the chemical plant. You know? Which is cool. I'd hoped it was going to work like that. And how much more time do I need to stall for until this thing's ready? Alright, another 21 days. Okay. So yeah, I'm thinking I want to set up a regional distribution hub here. And... alright, let me think. I know I need to move the... that vehicle repair station might be a problem now. I can, you know what, I can move that too if it comes to it. I don't have to worry. Okay. I need to move the bus station here. Bus platform. I do prefer the ones that have to pass through to them. Okay. Hang on, now I need to look over here. Okay, I can't reach that, this. I'm not shocked about that. Ooh. There's nowhere to connect that to, huh? At all. Okay. Well, we'll see if it can just reach it conveniently like this. That would help a lot. If I could. I can, yeah. Almost, anyway. It is just barely out of reach. With slightly over 360 meters, which is fine. As far as I'm concerned, anyway. Oh my god. Why are you giving me so much shit today? Thank you. Except you didn't break. Sometimes they can be a little bit annoying to place. Because I need to make sure this one connects. I don't care about the bottom. The bottom one I can make sure connects fine. Some other infrastructure somewhere. What infrastructure? Oh my god, that heating pipe is actually just slightly too high. Okay. So if I do that, and then do this. Yeah, 391. Perfect. Good. And I also authorized the helicopter construction offices to start pulling asphalt and concrete from beyond the border. So that'll be good. Now, I'm specifically moving this over because I want to be able to use more industry in this region. I've kind of talked about it before, but the possibility of doing meat here works. We could do electronics assembly. I think, given where I'm putting my farms, meat makes the most sense. You know? So, let's go to economy and trade for citizen facility here. Last month. Of course, that's February, so I want to adjust. 70 tons. We'll round up so that way, you know, we always want a little bit of margin of error for safety. 70 tons. That is, what, 1.3 tons per day? Not even, is it? You know what? Let's do some math. 70 divided by 31? Yeah. 2.25. Okay. I don't know why I said 1. 2.3. So 2.3 tons per day is where we'll come in. Now, once again, I'm going to divide 60 by 50 here. Pretty sure I know the answer to this one, but you never know. Okay, yeah, 1.2. So each person produces 1.2 tons per day. In order to feed my people, this slaughterhouse only needs 2 people. Like, this slaughterhouse scales up effectively as high as it needs. The pollution is irrelevant, I'm going to be honest here, because no, it's never going to be manned that much. Alright? I think what I'm going to do is have 2 livestock farms, which will produce 20 tons of livestock, and have like 5 dudes in here. Maybe 6. And that will supply me with a ton. Export meat release, yes. It is honestly not a terrible export. The problem with it is the input is crops. And inherently, that means you're competing against clothes as an export. And if we look at current pricing here, we can see clothes coming in at 15,000 a ton, and meat coming in at only 2.8 per ton. You know? Alright. So yeah, import of resources last month. Like, meat is one of our biggest imports, so we slashed that. And we're about to slash chemicals whenever that train gets repaired, so. Alright. Livestock farm. I'm trying to think, because ideally I would also like this to all be connectable up to railroad and that. Be a little too close to the train tracks here. I think I can do this. Okay. I should not let you... I should be paused, because here's the problem now. These things aren't being planned anymore. My helicopters are carrying out my orders. Ooh. Okay. So, setting this up isn't too bad. Alright. Ivan didn't get the memo. Yeah. Yeah, no. At this point, it would be wise of me to start making use of planning mode, probably. Where there's a mode where I don't actually place the buildings. So, that might be a solid choice in the near future to adjust to. In the meantime, let's see about getting some grain silos in. That's probably fine. That's probably fine. And 350 ton meat storage, is that too much? The answer is yes. Does it matter? I don't know. Probably not. Okay. And now, assuming I haven't completely screwed the pooch here, I need to get a train station in here somehow. It doesn't need to be a super long one, but it is going to need to be one of a specific kind. So there's no way to do that factory function, right? Now, the train spaghetti doesn't work for this setup. Yeah. I kind of need to be able to have an isolated... Do I? How much output does the slaughterhouse have? Like, can the slaughterhouse... No, it only has 3.8 tons. Like, I cannot feasibly use the slaughterhouse as a warehouse. Livestock farms have 60 tons imports. That's only 3 days worth. That's not enough. Unfortunately, we need a livestock haul for transit between those. Yeah, setting up a compact little meat production setup here is a little trickier than I would have liked. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, there is no way I can do this, is there? I reassemble these buildings in every conceivable shape in my brain, and it all just flashes red. Yeah, there's no way I can get 2 livestock farms like this. Okay. That's not ideal. That is not ideal. Okay. So just a hypothetical here. 200 meters, okay. So if I make a path point here, everything should be within 250 meters at this point. That just means I have to set up something a little bit more complicated. Which isn't really that big of a deal. Yeah. Well, there's no way to do it across the street, I don't think. Yeah. Okay. So mentally, the only thing I can think to do is to set up basically a street here. Meters, that's probably another 100 meters. That is acceptable. At least I sure hope it is. The bus platform is almost done. Alright. Given the nature of this, though, and how close I'm actually going to be cutting it, we're going to go full sidewalk, I think. You know? Full sidewalk. Alright. Okay. Ugh, of course then with a sidewalk there's not quite enough room. Fair, it looks like there's not even enough room there. On the other hand, that could be where I put the slaughterhouse, so that's fine. The slaughterhouse ideally would be going, you know, somewhere where the train can easily get. Oh my god, this is slightly too far, or slightly not far enough. Nothing about this is working out in quite the right set of distances that I need it to. Which is deeply unfortunate. And I think I'll need to revisit later. I need time at the drawing board for that. A lot more time than I should take in the middle of an episode. As you know, I'm assuming it's probably not a vehicle is actively being repaired. Oh goody. Along with 4 other ones right now. That's nice. It's got the fabric down. Woof. Hopefully, you know, it can get the rest of the stuff it needs. Yeah, trying to repair a train is actually kind of difficult for this setup. And I definitely need to change this up, which I do intend to do. I kind of plan to move a lot of my distribution hub more towards Radom anyway, which I think is where I'm going to be putting the train repairing service. The problem, of course, is repairing trains literally takes so much material. Like 13 tons of mechanical components. This thing can hold 1.3 tons. You know? Like, I got an extra distribution office helping here to try and keep this thing going. But it's tough. You know? It's tough. But at least this thing is getting its wear and tear down. which is good to see. Even if it's struggling just a little bit. This thing's already almost out of steel again. I could get rid of the aluminum. This thing is not and will never repair an aircraft, right? Like, this would allow it to carry 20 tons of steel. That helps a little bit. Unfortunately, everything else is needed for pretty much all kinds of vehicles. So it's not in great shape. Jesus, your wear and tear is still pretty damn low. Pretty damn high. Come on. I want this wear and tear to come down. But it needs apparently everything, so. About 1.7 tons of plastic. I'm going to uncheck this, so that way it doesn't cancel the repair. Keep working on it, you know? Oh my god, it just went through that batch of mechanical components instantly. Yikes. Right. Yeah, it's trying for sure. Oh, 20 out of 15. Oh, okay, so that's workers. I see. For some reason I thought that would be the number of, like, people. Or, like, the number of vehicles. But no, that's the number, theoretically the number of workers that could work on everything. See, that's still going to take some time to repair. Good. Alright. Hang on, what did I import last month that was so expensive? Apparently a boatload of electronics and chemicals. It's hopefully fine. Like I say, we're pretty much just waiting for that train to get repaired so I can put it on the line. Bigger repair shop? A bigger repair shop isn't necessarily a bad idea, yeah. Like I said, I plan to move that out more to Radom. Having the train depot where they get repaired here, like along what is basically a critical choke point, is not great. You know? In general. The real problem is this thing needs a warehouse to, like, handle all this crap. Which, we can get it. We can get it a warehouse, you know? But turning this thing into just a small vehicle repair shop is fine. It definitely cannot handle the trains, and, like, the more trains I get, the worse this is getting. Like, holy crap. So I think that's gonna be what I want to do out there. Okay, I've actually thought about it some more. I think I've thought about it a little bit more. Alright. So. I know how to set it up, I think, perfectly. Well, perfectly-ish, anyway. As perfectly as it's gonna get. Let's be real here. Unfortunately, I'm trying to think, because I know I'm gonna need 2 train lines. So I do livestock farm, slaughterhouse, I hear the helicopter approaching. So. And I do this, and this, and then... theoretically this. Hey, are you able to... You are. Perfect. Okay. Ah, shit, this fucking path. Do I build an underground? I can't. So this region is gonna get isolated. Ah. No, the region isn't necessarily isolated. I think I can maybe make it work. Maybe. Okay. Alright, let's probably not use this. The warehouse. For some reason the warehouse with the train on it is only available here. I don't know why they hide this warehouse. Unfortunately, it's also just not long enough. But I recognize... No, yeah, there's no way. Okay. This was another thought. Oh, I know what to do. Hold on. Well, no matter what, I have to build a path to the sides. That's still not going to work. There is nothing here I've got that works right now. Damn it. Try number 2 in my brain. Did not. Alright. Like I say, at some point I will work it out. At some point I will work that out. How you doing? Engine power's climbing. Are they bringing that wear and tear down? Alright, it's got all the plastics it needs. So now it's just a matter of getting enough mechanical components. Reduce the amount of fabric you carry. You never run out of the stuff. You also never seem to run out of, like, electronics either. So yeah, there. 1.42 tons. Let's try and speed it up a little bit. But yeah, the repair is getting done. Alright, you know what? Continue construction. And, assign. Alright. I was able to skillfully insert a little path here as well. So, good news. This power plant will also be able to be fed workers from this platform. What I'm hoping is that this is going to help even out the number of workers in the power plant, like, because you notice we have like these shutdowns on a regular basis. I'm hopeful that in theory that will change with that, because now we should have trains fueling it with workers more regularly. Alright, a helicopter should arrive shortly to finish that off, and with any luck, 80%. Still need 7.8 tons of mechanical components. It's trying. It's trying so hard. Yeah. I need a proper train repair zone. Like I say, if this is going to be my distribution setup, the railway continues here. Like, it needs some work done, which is fine. Honestly, this also needs some work done. So let's get that in. It wasn't exactly what I planned to do, but I need to buy some more time while the friggin' train is repaired. So, we'll insert this over here where the... I think... oil field expansion should allow for. It should be fine. Okay. Now, I'm going to want to pull you back a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean as far as I feasibly can. Flatten terrain, that's fine. Good. Alright. So, I've currently got this signaled up as basically a waiting depot. Given I only have one parking spot for this chemical plant at all, and the potential for needing to fuel it with gravel, crops, and wood. I feel like there's no way I'm ever going to actually be putting in wood by train, but you never know. Gotta plan for any eventuality, you know? Any eventuality. We'll have that sorted in no time. Having a bunch of incoming parking spots here will help ensure there's hopefully no issue. Alright. This old dumper broke down. Alright. This thing's at 85% repaired. Okay. The wear and tear on this thing is still at 50%. To be fair, this train is like 30 years old. I'm thinking this isn't even worth repairing at this point, if that's as low as we can get the wear and tear, right? I'm beginning to think that these trains may only have about a 30-year life to them before they need to be replaced. Because what, like 85% more, you go down 30%, so we can get it maybe down to like the mid-40s, which is not great. So, I think 35 years is probably where I'm going to want to set my maximum. And, yeah. Vehicle age at 35 and 49. Okay. That's where they're just going to kind of start having breakdowns a lot more frequently. Like, the fact we managed to get this engine as far as we've gotten it is pretty good. This is an old, venerable 31-year-old train, you know? God, those mechanical components do not last a second. Oh my god. Alright. Oh yeah, you are very lost. You'll get your shit sorted eventually, it's fine. And Sit is good for Shook. Welcome. Alright. So yeah, the chemical plant. Why do you have workers? Yeah, I guess people are literally just walking in. But yeah, the chemical plant is legally operational right now. Alright. So. And for now, I'm debating how I want to handle this. I think what I'm going to do is just have a line run. Yeah, that makes the most sense. Yeah, those old Rustins. Okay. So, I'm going to need one... You can go 92 and you have 13 tons available. Nice. And you can do 11 tons of crops. Perfect. These old Rustins, I'm going to get rid of at this point, because they're kind of past their prime. Fire destroyed a building. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So where was I? Yes. So I'm going to need a dumper. Sorted by total capacity. We now have the LZ100 dumper, which can do 14 tons. And do friggin' 92 as well. Alright. So that's pretty damn good. Yeah, the LZ100 series is a pretty solid set of vehicles, you know? LZ100 open? Yep. Okay. That's all 4 of those. Which I assume have just gone off to go get fuel for now. Good. I need to keep expanding the highway network. For sure. Electricity problem. Oh yeah. Well, this thing's getting there. God. Yeah, I need to find a way to get more mechanical components or something in the storage here. Is there anything I can do to alleviate this? Like the smallest warehouse. Can I get it? Like technically, yes. There's a sewage switch there that might make actually connecting this impossible, though. Holy shit, no. Alright, good news. I may not have to do that after all. Because even just this small warehouse would be enough. This thing can do like 100 tons, so... the price of cool ones like that, that's fine. Alright. So that's very helpful. If I can just get this operational a little bit more, you know? You guys gravel that road, that's fine. So any chance the court backlog is starting to get fixed? No, in fact, it's getting worse. On the plus side, these places aren't backed up. There's still way more workers than necessary, so we're just going to kind of keep letting the population in that city fall for a bit. Until the situation just calms down, and eventually, I don't know. Building another courthouse at this point just feels useless because, like, we're already pretty close to our prisoner cap. Arguably, I'd say we're over our prisoner cap. Because, like, this is... You'll notice we get so many negative effects here. Just because there's not enough wardens. You know? We need a new prison. We need to upgrade our justice system. We need a lot of things. And, it's gonna be tough. There's much to do. There's much to do. So are we getting this train repaired or what? 48 fucking minutes. This train still is not repaired. It's managed to get the wear and tear down to 48%. Honestly, 35 years might be pushing it. The problem is I'm also a little low on money, and I'm kind of concerned about my actual, like, fiscal solvency right now. Because I feel like I'm not exporting very much. Yeah, like mechanical component and coal. We still have, like, a fair bit of the imports, and it's really just, the chemicals. I mean, we just gotta get the chemical plant online. You know what? I'm just gonna sell you. You're done. You aren't really needed anymore anyway. 95%. Alright. Just like 2 more trips, and it's ready to go. Thank goodness. There. It looks like this thing can actually... Oh no, it can't. Okay. So, here's what you're gonna start doing. So you don't get so lost all the goddamn time. Is this... Then this. Then this. And we can just kind of keep going, you know? But do it in that order, and it's fine. Alright. Yeah, God. Construction now also goes so much faster thanks to tower cranes. God, I love these things. And I have the helicopters even delivering them now, too, so it's pretty good. Alright, 1.3 tons of mechanical components. The next truckload needs to be enough. I hope. .6. It's not enough. And here's the bricks. And then, presumably, workers are needed. No, it's just sent for a bus. Which, fair enough, I suppose. It actually won't need more than that bus worth. Because it's only 168 work days, so. 98%. Load to 6%, yeah. This is why we need the warehouse as well. It'll make, like, actually getting resources here much more efficient. You know? And by golly, does this need to be made more efficient? This thing is almost returning to surface. Alright. It technically won't be fully repaired, but I will still return to service after this load. We shouldn't wait around for another 0.11 mechanical ton, or component tons. We have the, we have it at 98, and it'll be basically repaired. It might even fully repair, but we'll see. Because thanks to rounding, sometimes you don't actually need all of the materials. It helps. No, you would. Alright. Good enough. So, you got a race from line. Let's construct your line. You will pick up at Zamosk. You will drop off at this train station. You will then come back and you will enter a railway end station. The railway end station allows us to kind of really manage having like multiple trains doing this. You know, Zamosk is now capable of supporting this entire industrial core line with just our unemployment. Which is pretty good. Which is pretty good. Alright. Not bad. See, I've got everything kind of working smoothly now. Alright, so you will not store crops, you will not store chemical, you will not store alcohol, you will not store food, you will not store clothes, or explosives. Theoretically, you could store that much of everything, but in practice... that's probably more correct. So. At the small vehicle repair station, the only thing I want you unloading from now on is steel. There. Here you do that. Same thing. But and at Kelm, the only thing you do is steel now. Good. And good, looks like the rollers are there. Alright. See, we've got some workers here. Nothing's actually set up here yet for things to work, because I did grab this, but then promptly forgot. Alright, given its location, I'm trying to think if it's actually best for us to pick up from Chemisil. The problem really is that it's actually got paved road all the way from Roadhusk, so... And it's a car that can actually use paved roads for a pretty reasonable amount here. So, gravel, unload gravel, and make sure you wait until unloaded. Otherwise, you're good to go, though. Alright, you will be sourcing oil internally. Which, why are you not exporting right now? Oh god, that burned down. Well, that would explain my financial woes. That would explain the financial woes. Okay, well, either way. That'll get cleaned up. Oh yeah, and thank you by the way, Hayden, even though I did not read your comment. Yeah, you're right, no export of oil. Whoops. Alright. So anyway, unload, wait until unloaded. Wait until loaded, because I don't think I actually set up a oil tank import. To be fair, part of that is because it's a pipe. I can actually just kind of hook in a pipeline and plan to do that at some point. But that's not currently being done, so... The truck is, we swear, temporary. You get to come all the way here. I have no idea how you're going to get to there. God help you. Either way, there you're going to load the grain. And bring it to the chemical plant. Or no, do not bring it to the chemical plant, sorry. To the cargo station. Alright, that's been launched. And the last one, time for the open. Alright, you will load wood. You will unload wood. And wait until unloaded. Go. But yeah, so we'll get oil sorted out. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. Annoyingly, sometimes my helicopter fire department doesn't do the best. So yeah, this is all getting built pretty quick now. Shouldn't be too long. We hope. But yeah, so the chemical plant theoretically has some workers coming in every now and again now. Like here's a train of 465 of them. They have nothing to do here yet, but they will. Waste is something I also now have to consider as well. I know I have a technical service. Oh no, I don't. That's the thing. Because this got away with being supplied by Lubin's technical service. So that means there is currently nothing picking up waste here, which is fair. All right. Well, in that case, we're going to need to get to work on that. It doesn't matter if the chemical plant stops. I'm not too worried. If it overflows, it overflows. Whatever. It just means it's not brought online yet, you know? In the truest sense. No, wait. No, yeah, I know. I need to go to waste. Fuck, where is it? State infrastructure. Yes, here we go. Yeah, I'll give it a full 8. Because you never know, right? You don't ever know, truly. Maybe I will need it. Alright. And then hopefully we can actually get this place running. We've got the oil. Soon we'll have gravel. Soon we'll have wood. There comes the wood. tip. This only stores wood. Yep. Good. Do we have gravel already? No. Specifically store gravel, yes. And who knows when the crops will arrive. The crops have to go on a weird route that I'll probably figure out. Like I said, this thing is not going to be anywhere near fully functional in the short term. But that's fine. I'm not looking for it to be. I'm looking for this thing to be able to produce a tiny amount of chemicals in the short term that will help stabilize my republic's economy, you know? From there, everything else can kind of be worked out. But it might still be a while. You know? That's okay. But here we go. Sewage tank overflowing health risk. Oh yeah, right. I guess it doesn't have it has a sewage outflow for the industrial, but not for anything else. Okay. Forgot about that. But luckily I'm also noting that this is seemingly still getting 2 trains of workers in per shift roughly, which is good. It's keeping some people in, but yeah. Alright. I'm going to call the episode here. The chemical plant is coming on to base functionality, finally. Thank you everyone for watching. I've been your Blaze Gil, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, folks. Have a good night.